Welcome, everybody. This is December 7th, and we are here to welcome you to the December meeting of the Austin Herb Society, which is always a very, very special one for our organization. It's my pleasure now to introduce you to Susan Norwood, who is the chair of our Holiday Event Planning Committee, and she's going to tell you all about today's program.
Hi, I'm Susan. Most of you know me, and I love this picture of the butterfly coming out of the chrysalis. It's just wonderful. Phew, what a year. I hope you all received your little butterfly cards that the holiday meeting committees sent to you. The butterfly is not only a universal symbol of beauty and of the soul, but also of hard work and transformative change in order to get there. Committee members Kate Alsabrook, Lucinda Rudin, and I wish everybody the best going forward. Now, I'd like to introduce someone who is here to help us celebrate with her own tales of metamorphosis, Kim Lehman. She is an educator, storyteller, musician, workshop presenter, and author and beekeeper. Currently on the Texas Commission on the Arts touring roster, she has performed at hundreds of festivals, schools, libraries, and museums. And she's also a featured teller at the Texas Storytelling Festival and the author of the book Beekeeper's Lab. And of course, we know her as one of our very own past presidents. Take it away, Kim.
All right. Thank you so much, Susan. And thank you, everybody. It's good to see some familiar faces and some new faces. And I'm glad to be here today to share some stories and songs about beauty, about transformation, about butterflies. Come, 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 little piece of sun. Sing a song from where you travel from. Your glow is warm, your colors shine so bright. So come, 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 little piece of light. A song by Jess Harper. Come, 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 little piece of sun. Sing a song from where you travel from. Your glow is warm, your colors shine so bright. Come, 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 little piece of light. A song, another little song. I'm going to share some little songs and little stories with you. Each of us is a flower growing in life's garden. Each of us is a flower. We need the sun and the rain. Sunshine your warmth on me. Moon, soothe me with your light. Wind brings the gentle rain. Earth, let my roots run deep. Each of us is a flower growing in life's garden. Each of us is a flower. We need the sun and the rain. Flowers bring us such beauty, and there's beauty around us every day. This is a story from the Papago people, a story about beauty and change and joy. After the Earth Maker created the world, Brother Elder looked around and saw all the beauty. The children were playing and they were laughing and filled with such joy. He could hear the birds singing their sweet, sweet songs. And when he breathed in, oh, the scent of the trees were so wonderful and beautiful. And he looked all around him and it was just lovely and the beauty was there. But then he began to think, all things change. Everything, all things. And as Brother Elder looked around and was thinking about how things change, he saw the beautiful yellow leaves on the trees and thought, those leaves are going to turn brown. They're going to fall off the tree. And he thought, all these children that are laughing and playing, with time they're going to grow old and weak. They're going to have aches and pains. And look at these trees and flowers. Soon they will have no scent at all. The days will get shorter and shorter and shorter, and the nights will get cold. And so Brother Elder thought, I'd really like to make something that would remind us of the beauty that we have now before things begin to change. So with that, he watched the woman grinding the corn in the sun in her black hair, and he watched the yellow leaf dancing in the wind. And as he looked around, he had an idea. He took out his creation bag and he began to gather all kinds of wonderful things to put in the bag. He took some blue from the sky and put it in that bag, and some gold from the sun. He took some black from that woman's hair and put it in the bag, along with some green from the pine needles, and some red and some purple and some yellow from all the flowers. Put it in that bag. And as he gathered all those colors and all those things, he took all the sounds of the birds and put them in that bag. And then he thought and he thought, how could he capture this wonder? How can he do something to lift these spirits? And after he gathered all of those things, he called the children, and the children gathered round, and he gave the bag to those children to open up. And when they did, hundreds of beautiful butterflies began to fly out of that bag. They were flying and flittering all around the children's head. They were laughing and laughing, and some would even light on their hands. The adults came, and everyone gathered around, and they looked at those beautiful butterflies with all their colors and all their beautiful dancing in the wind. They were like flowers, just dancing in the air. And they laughed and they smiled, and their spirits were lifted. And then on top of that, they heard those little beautiful, wonderful creatures. They began to make the sounds of the birds. Well, when the birds heard that, they were not very happy. They went to Brother Elder and they said, Brother Elder, when you created us, you gave us each a sound, our own special sound, and you said that would be ours and ours alone. But now you've shared our sound with these pretty little creatures. They have the colors, they're beautiful. They don't need to have our songs as well. And Brother Elder thought and said, you are right. Brother Elder took all the songs away from those butterflies. And so it is to this day. The butterflies do not sing songs, but they still have their beautiful, beautiful colors. And those butterflies brighten our day, and they bring us joy and happiness. And Brother Elder thought, that is how it is meant to be. And so it is to this very day. Butterflies are a symbol of the soul in almost every culture. The Greeks, Aristotle, he named them psyche, after the Greek word for soul. And native peoples, Russia, all around the world, Butterflies is seen as the symbol of the soul. Many cultures believe when they go to the afterlife, who's going to greet them? It's going to be butterflies. And of course, they go through a tremendous transformation. And the facts about butterflies are, especially monarchs, fascinate me because they're the only butterfly that migrates two ways. They migrate to California, they go up to eastern United States, they go down to the Sierra Madres of Mexico, they travel 3,000 miles. And to stay warm, those butterflies, they gather in clusters. And once again, not only do they remind us of transformation from the whole metamorphosis of the egg and the larva and the chrysalis and the butterfly, they also remind us of beauty and working together and persevere. This is what happens when you get older. When you persevere. And I'd like to just share just a little song about working together because this organization has been, to me, I've been involved with a lot of organizations, and the Austin Herb Society to me is one of the best groups that I know of where so many people work together and they do things and create things together. This is a song by Pete Seeger. Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones can form an arch, singly none, singly none. And by union, what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none. Step by step, the longest mile can be won, can be won. Many stones to form an arch, singly none, singly none. And by union, what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none. I like to end with a story about transformation. You know, the only thing that is the only thing that we know is going to always happen is change. But we all have had some stories of transformation. And I just like to share this little personal story with you. I had just moved to Austin and I didn't know anybody. I was lonely and I was frightened, and it was my birthday. I sat there in the house by myself and I was starting to spiral down. You might know what that's like when you're just lonely and you're frightened and you're scared and you're just not sure what to do. And I was getting heavier. I was getting heavier and heavier and heavier. You know, that kind of heavy where it takes every ounce of strength just to get up and walk across the room and get a glass of water. So as I was spiraling down and having so much self-pity, I thought, I have to do something. I have got to do something. So I gathered the last of my strength. I picked up my car keys and I stepped out that door. And you know what it's like when you step out from being inside and the sky is blue and there's nothing that's keeping anything in. I became just a little bit lighter. I got in my car and I started driving. I was just driving. Now, this is a long time ago when Austin started at like 51st Street and ended, you know, it was very small. So it was 5 minutes I was out of town and I was driving east. And as I was driving along, I saw a sign for Kimbrough. And I thought, Kimbrough, that's where I'll go for my birthday. So I started down the road. Now, Those of you that have been in Austin for a while, you know that Kimbrough is really nothing. So I was just driving down the road, this 2-lane road, lots of fields, corn, soybeans, cotton, driving along. And I came to a 1-room church, and it was sitting in the middle of a field. So I pulled the car off, and I got out of the car, and I just started walking around the church, and I peeked in the window, and I wondered about who are the people that come here on a Sunday morning. And as I got around to the back of that church, I saw this dry creek. And so I slid down the bank and I started walking along this dry creek. And I kid you not, I took about 5 steps, and there on the ground was this. It was a fossilized shell. And I bent down, I picked it up, and I thought, wow, what a beautiful birthday gift from Mother Nature. And I put it in my shirt. I had a t-shirt on, and I put it in my shirt. And I took, another 5 steps. There was another one. I couldn't believe it. I picked it up, and I took a couple more steps. There was another one. I picked up 7 of these, and I put them by this time, my shirt was really heavy. So even though the weight around me was heavier, my spirit was just a little bit lighter. And it took a little bit of time, but I got up the side of that dry creek, and I took all of these shells, I put them in the car, and I was getting ready to close the back. And that's when I noticed across the dry creek, there was this cornfield. And, it was like Planet and they would come. It was magic. It was beckoning to me. And before I even knew what I was doing, I found myself walking down those straight and narrow paths in between the corn rows. And as I was walking along, being brushed by the corn, I began to think of all these corn memories in my life. Eating candy corn for Halloween, which right now, as an adult. And I was walking along, and I remembered my family. We would plant corn. We had a huge garden. And when it was time to harvest, I loved that. The whole family created this whole production line. One person husked the corn and desilked it, and the next person would blanch it, and the next person would cut it off the cob, and the next person would bag it to put into the freezer, and we'd eat fresh corn all winter long. And I remember visiting my grandmother's Amish sister, and I remember my brothers and I playing with David in the cornfields. David could only speak Pennsylvania Dutch, and we could only speak English. But that doesn't matter with children, because and I know the common language of children is play. And that's what we did. We played hide and seek in those cornfields. So I was just getting washed with all these corn memories as I walked along. And then something just came over me. I just chucked off all my clothes, and I just laid down there in the middle of the cornfield in the row. I was just laying there on my birthday, in my birthday suit. I was laying there, and the sun was so luxurious. It was so warm on my skin. And the corn blowing in the wind was like palm fronds. I felt like a queen. And I felt even lighter. And as I lay there, just luxuriating, it was then I heard it. Off in the distance was the sound of a tractor, and it was coming my way. So I slid into my clothes, and I sat up, and all I could think of was my head just popped up over the corn, because it was May. The corn was only knee high. And so my head just popped up and I was like trying to be just really nonchalant. And there I was, feeling so much better. And I was transformed. I arose out of that corn crib. I was covered in silk, a tiara tassel on my head. Oh, I walked down that imaginary red carpet between those rows of corn, like kernels of sweetness, powered by renewed energy. I walked with my head held high, and just like the Native American Three Sisters, I felt a little corny, full of beans, and never to be squashed. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we all have those times where we're spiraling down. And I don't know about you, but every time I go outside, if I'm feeling a little sad or a little lonely, if I just step outside, it's like a huge weight is lifted off of me. And I would imagine some of you feel the same way about those kind of things. There's one last song I would like to share with you. The words are by a Sufi poet, Hafiz, and the music is by a community song leader named Barbara McAfee, who I love what she creates, the songs that she creates. And it is just a story to remind us how to transform ourselves when we are walking in darkness. And I would like to teach you the song. I'm also a community song leader. And you need to stay muted because of the technology doesn't let us sing together, unfortunately. So you're just going to hear me and yourself, but I am going to encourage you to sing along for sure. So I'll sing the first part and you can repeat it. I wish that I could show you. Your turn. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you. Whenever you are lonely or walking in the dark. Whenever you are lonely or walking in the dark. That's the hardest line. We're going to do that a couple times. Whenever you are lonely or walking in the dark. One more time. Whenever you are lonely or walking in the dark, I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you the astonishing light of your being. Your turn. The astonishing light of your being. I'm not going to spend a long time on the teach, so we're just going to go ahead and sing it over and over a number of times so that you can really feel the song within you. Here we go. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you. Whenever you are lonely or walking in the dark, I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you the astonishing light of your being. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you whenever you are lonely or walking in the dark. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you the astonishing light of your being. One more time. And if you haven't been singing, do sing. It does amazing things to your spirit and soul. Here we go. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you whenever you are lonely or walking in the dark. I wish that I could show you. I wish that I could show you the astonishing light of your being. The astonishing light of your being. Thank you so much. It's always a joy and a pleasure to be with you. even if it is on Zoom.
Yay! Oh, thanks, Kim. Lovely to see you again. I have one more just little thing to trying to find notes. Here we go. The committee, Kate and Lucinda and I wrote a little thing about metamorphosis too, which helped to ground us in this whole theme of this thing. The definition of metamorphosis is a change in appearance or structure. This summer, I get into raising monarchs from the caterpillars I found on my milkweed. The librarian who's really into this at the library got me into it, and she said that in the wild, if I left the eggs on the milkweed, they have about a 2% chance of survival. But if you can put the plant or the things in a habitat and grow them, then they have like a 97% chance of survival. So it's a way to give them a little boost. But watching them transform themselves from a caterpillar into a bag of liquid stem cells and then into a completely different being was just mind-blowing. And so metamorphosis is not just a change, it's a change. So we wrote this about us and about the speaker, and I mean about our club, just to give some thoughts to this at the end of the year and going into next year. Last year, we reminisced about the past, our own and our organization's past. This year, we're struck by change that has happened in large due to the pandemic. It's been a period of loss. Personally, we have lost family members and friends. Some of us have let go of habits that are no longer serving us. We've stopped coloring our hair. We've been wearing the same old clothes. We've changed the way we shop for groceries and a lot of other things. Some of us have felt like hermits and couldn't remember what a hug felt like. For the Herb Society, we lost our monthly gatherings and the good food we always had, and the hugs, and some of our members have let go of us. We wish them well and we'll miss them as we move on to bigger and better things here at the Zilker Botanical Garden. Where are we as an organization going? Our once little garden at the end of the parking lot has become a big attraction. It's lots of attention. We now have the task of making seasonal changes so that there's always color and bloom in every season. This takes more work, more money for purchasing plants, and a lot of planning. So we need to add to our garden team. It's fun. Our mission is education for ourselves and the public. And for this reason, a few years ago, we started the TWIG program, Talks and Walks in the Garden. And it was originally meant for us as a way to help bring people into Zilker, more people as a help for the burgeoning and the nascent botanical conservancy. But now we need to grow our TWIG team, and we hope to have some interactive programs in the garden by giving people hands-on experience. Right, so we're also thinking of TWIG as a great tool for our own members now too. The TWIG team, I think, we used to have an annual seminar too, and we've let go of that. It didn't bring people in so much. So we're thinking of TWIG as a more informal way of teaching the public and us about gardening. For example, how did you learn how to prune? How I learned how to prune was when the Rose Society was out in the rose garden every year, and they would come and we could just watch them prune, and then they would hand me the pruners and say, okay, you lop this off. And that's how I learned to prune roses. And I think that's that's kind of a model that we can use. There are two ways that you can be more involved in our programs. We can just get in there and do it and share our expertise. Our club has been successful because we have a dedicated group of volunteers. This year, a number of our board members are retiring after years of service, and this gives you an opportunity to be a leader in our club. For those of you who may have thought it's just a club, we cannot begin to express the benefits of friendship with other passionate gardeners, increased knowledge of how to use herbs, fellowship, improved health, tastier cooking. We are so pleased to be able to hang out with each other again. We hope you'll come and help us to be better. In January, we will have a live meeting, and we hope to be able to continue to do so. But we all need to keep on being careful to avoid catching this virus. And so we wish everyone a happy into 2021 and a happy new year, and be careful out there. We hope to see everybody and, get back to those hugs. Lucinda is going to propose a toast. Hope everybody has their libation of choice. And let's go for that.
Okay, thank you so much, Susan. I wanted to mention to you that when we did the little cards, we used rubber cement to glue the butterflies on, so you can easily peel them off and use them in whatever way you wish. It was a fun project. We had to do cutting and pasting because we didn't have the up-to-date technology. So it took me back a few years when I started teaching. At any rate, it was fun. We enjoyed doing it. And so I'm using my elderflower cordial that I made to toast you. And I've got a new batch that's in progress right now. So what we wanted to do is just toast you as our faithful members. We hope that this coming year is going to be a healthy and a fruitful one for you, that you will have the freedom to pursue your dreams and build your life the way you wish it to be. We want to thank you so much for supporting us. Bring friends to the Herb Society, that they'll love it and they'll benefit. And we hope to see a lot more of you in 2022. So salud à votre santé.